Moving on, former President Goodluck Jonathan has expressed support for the establishment of state police, saying it is non-negotiable. Speaking at the National Dialogue on the Establishment of State Police organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review on Monday in Abuja, the former president says the creation of state policing is not up for debate, but rather the establishment of mechanisms to prevent abuse. Also speaking, the former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar, while stressing the need for transparency in the operation of state police, warned that politicians must avoid asserting undue influence over the proposed force. On his part, the Oni of Ife, Enitan Ogunwusi, called for action as he informed the audience of the discontent of his subjects over general insecurity. However, the Inspector General of Police, Koide Egbetokun, who was represented by an Assistant Inspector General of Police, Ben Okoro, said instead called for the merger of the police with the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigeria Civil Defense and Safety Commission to ensure an effective policing system. Reacting to this, security expert Salahuddin Hashim says the political structure in the country as well as the judicial sector must be examined while control measures should be put in place.
Section 124 of the Constitution as amended is actually very clear about the structure of the Nigerian police force. And again, because we are also in the process of an amendment, it offered us an opportunity to be able to look a little bit closely and see if we need to change in terms of culture and administration, and perhaps look at the current landscape and see what we can do a lot differently. But most importantly is that I tend to agree with the Inspector General. I feel particularly very righteous because I have raised this issue at different platforms, mentioning the fact that we need to be a little bit circumspect before we push for the state police to come into effect. Those who are very desperate in making sure that the state police come on stream are particularly not very patriotic because they are just making an attempt to push the country a little bit behind in terms of not putting the justice sector structures in place. For you to have an efficient, functional, robust, and forward-looking justice system and a police culture, you must have all the systems and structure properly outlined and put in perspective. That hasn't been done. We didn't look at the justice sector response mechanisms at that state level. We didn't look at the landscape of our current political structure and see how we can navigate, manage them. Because again, the founding father didn't envisage that a time will come in the history of this country where we would have the sort of the political class or elites that we have currently. But unfortunately, the IG even made reference to the attempts to arrest the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, and how it was resisted by some local groups. And you imagine that the federal force had actually come into a local community. Imagine the kind of resistance that state police under the instruction of the governor would be. Imagine that that is the case, there would have been chaos and there would have been a lot of bloodshed. So we need to find a little bit more of a control measure to be able to achieve this particular feat. Otherwise, we would actually be held in to Golgotha. And I think it is very important that again, we do an assessment of the current policing needs. It is not about putting boots to the ground that would actually help us solve this problem.